Listen, I just spent the last, well, close to an hour watching Dutch Sense and his take on the La Palma volcano, the eruptions there. And he really did a great job. Dutch Sense, he always does a great job on what he reports there. But he brought out some issues that I had not thought about, and I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this and what he brings out as far as a possibility of a tsunami, and then also the issue about well, there's basically no sea buoys until you get close to the United States. Uh, that kind of makes more sense now because when I was in a meeting on Friday, I know that a friend of mine that works there in the Capitol had said to me that they basically would only have about a 2.5 hour warning of a tsunami coming. And he did say, you know, you could monitor the sea buoys, but he kept saying two to 2.5 hour warning is all you have as far as for evacuation. And I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh, everybody is saying 6 to 8 hours, something like that. Well, Dutch Sense brings out the reason why you don't have that time frame. In fact, he puts it down to only about a half hour to an hour, but it's because there's no sea buoys in between here and there, and that's a big problem. Now, as Dutch brings out too, it's not like we're at a point to where we have to say that a chunk is going to break off, but he does bring out that there's fissuring going on already from this volcano, and the fissuring, in other words, the ground is cracking, at least from the surface view, which gives it the possibility that yes, maybe that could happen. But like Dutch, I'm not wanting for people to panic by no means. But one thing I will say, as I said before, if you've got the ability to take a little trip right now, to go a little further inland, take a little quick vacation or something, you can take a little time off work. You know, it's not a bad idea to lean on the safe side of caution. In fact, my wife asked me if we were still in Orlando. She said, "What would you do?" And I said, "I would pack everybody up and we would just go to higher ground." I said, "I'm not going to go all the way up to the mountains per se, but you know, based on what I'm seeing," I said I would probably, you know, let's go get a hotel somewhere up in an area to where you would be somewhat safe from this if you're able to do so. I said that'd be my thought because I wouldn't want to be caught in traffic trying to flee, especially if you're using your phone as an early warning system and you're not able to get that early warning. Let's listen into what Dutch said here a little while ago there on the broadcast there about the fissuring.
Lava? We're talking about the size of a car. I mean, that is not, those are not small. And we'll go back over to the greater long distance view here. And when I see this going across hill to hill to hill, up and over and around, and they're talking about it being the edge of the caldera breaking, this is just one video that I'm showing you. We could probably go find more.
I don't know how well you guys can hear Dutch on here, but he's talking about the fissuring.
Find more? I'm on Microsoft again. You guys can find a video of this.
And you're gonna get a lot of videos. He's gonna get a lot of videos that are gonna be kind of blocked.
Sure. Video unavailable.
Let's see. Here we go.
Well, look at that, guys. I'm just look. I'm not going to tell you that this is going to fracture in half and cause a tsunami to come over to the east coast of the United States yet. I will not sugarcoat it, though. If I see it starting to happen, I'll be the first person to get on and tell you. Right now, I'm very concerned. Very concerned.
Are you guys able to hear? Because, I mean, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but see somebody ask, has anybody got sound? We're mainly trying to see if we could hear Dutch Sense talking on here.
When we talk about the weather in meteorology, you have a watch.
But at any rate there, basically, let me just I won't keep playing this with Dutch because it probably has low volume on what he's saying there. But Dutch goes into the fact that there is fissuring already on the island. He's going to take, let me see if I can pull up the part, mainly where he'll zoom in at. Let me kind of go back and see if I can pull it up there, find that place in there. Yeah, I can't. Let me just go to Google Earth myself and see if I can't share this with you guys as well. Oh, goodness. I'm not on my own computer, so it makes it very difficult to see what I'm doing here. So just kind of bear with me. I actually meant to go to Google Maps. So maybe I did. Okay, here we go. Well, I guess Google Earth is okay. Look at there. We got right off the bat. We get to go right there to the Canary Islands. Not bad, hey. All right. So what Dutch did here, and this is what I was going to show you here as well, that I thought was interesting because he brought out some very important points there. He said all along here is basically over time. These are like vents. In fact, he brought out, looked like this is kind of like where this volcano had kind of erupted there. But you can see the fractures in the land itself on the island. And from what they're talking about, they believe that if this is going to fracture and go off into the ocean, it's going to be this section here going towards the west there. And of course, when we see all the seismic activity, it was all centered in the lower portion of the island right here. And it's not like it's a huge island or nothing like that, but that's where that is at. And there is a lot of cracking in the ground there, but at this point, it's still not anything that at least that I'm aware of as of yet. Are they anticipating that to break off? However, that is what a lot of scientists have believed, that this thing could possibly, with the fracture, it could possibly break off, go into the ocean. And then as Dutch went in there and he looked at the buoys there, sadly, there was no buoys until you get nearly clearly almost to the other side of the United States. I forget the other side of the world where the U.S. is. And then again, like I said, it began to make more sense why I was told that people there, friends that I know in Washington, they've got their evacuation plan set, but they said they only got about 2.5 hours to be able to evacuate once they get the warning. And then the other issue was, in fact, it was quite bluntly said to me, he said, Steve, I don't know if I could actually make it to the Appalachian Mountains in 2.5 hours, depending on traffic issues and what we're facing. He said that's how little time and how desperate the situation would be. So, I mean, even people that I know there are pretty much anticipating that, they may not make it as a result. That's why I say, I don't know what's going to happen here. Honestly, I really don't. But if you have that ability and you can take a little trip, get out of there and get, especially if let's say if you're here in Florida, I know that, say up in Valdosta, I think Valdosta is considered a fairly safe place to be. Tallahassee, at least up there by the state line from some of the water footage I've seen. If you're up in the Panhandle like around Pensacola, I would go up towards Atmore or Jay, Florida for sure. Anywhere along the coastline. So if you're in Panama City, get up inland. Go up there, what is that, straight north out of there. Anywhere you're getting up close to the state line there. You got Bonifay up in that area there that you could go to. And of course, if you're over here on the East Coast, same thing. You just want to get inland. So, like I said, if you have the ability to take a couple of days and it's not going to hurt you or anything to do that, might not be a bad idea. As my mother would say, it's always, of course, she's not here anymore, but it would always be better to lean on the side of caution rather than, on the side of chance there. So, but if not, I understand. If not, you definitely just want to really monitor the situation close, which right now, ain't nobody going to be leaving in the middle of the night right now anyway, unless it was a very serious situation. So, anyway, we're just, listen, friends, we're in an awkward situation. So, but we'll do everything we can to keep you guys informed as well of what's going on. And we appreciate you. We love you. And God bless you. And pray. Let's certainly pray. Jesus definitely hears. It's not like he doesn't have an ear to hear. He does hear. And so much could be said about that. Oh, let me real quick while we're at this here. Let's see. Let me see if I can put this in here. Hurricane tracker, because I know one of those depressions there that I was looking at there, they have named that storm. Yep, here we go. So looks like we got, oh gosh. Looks like they got two of them coming across there now. Peter, I think, is this one right here. Yep, and Rose is the one right behind it. So I don't know the details on it. Let's see if we can find out about Peter. Peter is at 46 miles per hour. Max winds are at 58. And but okay, it shows that Peter will never make it over to land from what they're showing right there. So kind of interesting there. That one will just kind of do a loop and go back out, but they're not, of course, they're not showing exactly what it could turn out to be or anything like that either. Go back then and see if I can go look at Rose and see what they think Rose is going to do. It may be the same type of situation. So, all right. And Rose are not really, okay, so they're not really giving a whole lot of advice where that one's going to go either, other than it's just going to go up and kind of steer back to the left there. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, what, where, when, anything like that, or to what intensity they might get to either. Have no idea. Anyway, though, we'll just kind of keep an eye on those things as those things develop. I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live. Thank you for listening tonight, guys. Sorry about the shaky camera there. But anyway, well, couldn't get to my regular computer where I do the broadcast to keep it a little bit more still. Good evening.